Grand Rising and welcome to the show. Today we're talking about a special request from the user Pillow Project. And basically this is about a 5-1 projector type and profile. And so I'd like to begin with touching into this notion of what a 5-1 profile is, because we've spoken about the projector and how the projector functions. You know, waiting for the invitation, waiting for the recognition from others before sharing what is on the inside. And so this is a 5-1 profile projector. This means that this person has an unconscious foundation that is solid. It is in their body itself. And it is solid. It knows what it's doing. It is, well, it's fearful, it's afraid. And so the only way to quell that fear, to make sense out of the fear of life, is to learn, is to understand, is to gain in knowledge, to become intelligent. And so there is a deep potential for unconscious intelligence in this person, that they can really have a strong, defendable position. And that's coming from the unconscious. In the conscious side of things, the fifth line personality, this is what we see, let's see, right over here in the chart, you'll see a 1.5 and a 2.5. Like over here, there's a 4.1 and a 49.1. This fifth line means that this person has a personality that is deeply sensitive to projection and is often receiving high value projections from others. And can this person deliver on the projection that they have received? Can they meet the expectations from the other person that have been placed upon them? This determines whether or not they will be seen as a heretic or a savior. Essentially, this fifth line is receiving all this positive expectation from other people. And if you can deliver on that, then they're like, oh, wow, thank God, thank you, thank everything. This is so wonderful. I'm going to let everybody know you were so helpful for me. I saw you, I thought you were going to be helpful, and then you were so helpful, blew my mind. I'm going to let everybody know. And that's on the good side of things. However, on the shadow side, if one cannot properly deliver a practical solution to the projection that has been received, then they'll be seen as a heretic. If somebody tries out your advice and it doesn't work, it's not simply, oh, it didn't work, I'm not going to listen to them. It's, they really seem like they're good, but they're actually garbage. This is the reputation they will receive, that of a heretic. This person who you think is amazing, and it turns out they're actually evil or nasty or not practical, to put it simply. And so this person is deeply in tune with the stories, the mythos, the chatter about the street, the electromagnetic field in the air. Quite literally, they're in touch with these stories and these subtle energetics and these expectations. There's actually a deep correctness in a fifth line, being with a sense of paranoia when somebody comes up to them. When somebody comes up to you as a fifth line being, it's like, well, what do you want? What do you actually want from me? What's the projection you're going to apply on me, and can I deliver that, or am I going to say no? Or am I going to say yes if I can't deliver it and become a heretic? You see, there's this deep sensitivity to their reputation as a fifth line. The stories travel far and wide very fast. And so if this person can trust their inner authority and type strategy, then they will be able to actually deliver practical and valuable solutions from the unconscious foundation in their first line. And their fifth line can be fulfilled. Their personality can be fulfilled and feel good about itself because it's able to support others and meet their expectations. And so this person is a self-projected projector. You might notice that if we look at the body graph here, this is the primary element of human design and becoming in touch with what's really going on, you know, in the experience of life. And so we can see this person has only 2 defined centers. They have 1 channel, and they've got all these centers undefined, all these 7 centers undefined. These are 7 themes of life that become quicksand, or they become a black hole that sucks you in and pulls you in it pulls you away from your intelligence and into what might work for somebody else. It pulls you into what isn't truly fulfilling, but you can practice and try and pretend to be solid and consistent. However, it never will be. And these are 7 different themes of life like that. However, they're a projector. We see they have this channel of the 1-8. This is a channel of demonstration of their own unique creative potential. And so this person needs to have the opportunity to share with others and to demonstrate their difference, their own unique, original, creative contribution to the whole. And the thing is if they're allowing these open centers to rule their decision-making process, they will not be able to actually demonstrate anything of true value, and they will not demonstrate anything that is helpful or supportive or practical. And so what does that really mean? Well, so we have these centers here, and I'm going to start right here in the ego center. As an undefined center, this ego provides the most powerful not self pull. This provides the need to seek validation and receive validation from other people. This is not knowing one's worth, not having a consistent relationship to determine worth or value. This is also willpower. This is an inability to make promises. So this person, they're a 5-1, and they want to be able to deliver on the expectations from others, practically. However, if they ever make a promise in their life, that is most likely a mistake. And that's because of this undefined ego center right here. This is the willpower to keep up with one's promises and to hold up one's end of the bargain. And 70% of people have an undefined ego. 70% of people are here with nothing to prove and no promises to make. In truth. However, the fact of the matter is, there's tons of people out there with undefined egos who want nothing more than to receive your approval. For you to tell them that they are worthy and they are powerful and they are strong and they are worthy of love. And what are they going to make promises about? Well, you see the next most powerful undefined center here is the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is the seat of all feeling. It's emotionality. This isn't simply survival feeling. This is the higher order emotional, socio-economic, subtle feelings, from the inside. Well, I don't know, there's just something. And the thing about this emotional center is that it's undefined. And in the undefined emotional center, this person wants nothing more than to avoid the conflicts. They want to avoid problems. They want to avoid the emotional wave that comes from upsetting somebody who has an emotional system. Because, whoa, in their system, they pick up that emotional wave and they amplify it 10 times, maybe even 100 times over. And they deal with the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows because they're identified with things that don't belong to them. And in identifying falsely, they amplify the field. And it just goes crazy. Because essentially they're making promises about avoiding problems. Oh, I won't do that anymore, I promise. I'll never behave that way again. I won't bother you again. I won't cause you any problems. Because then you'll give me this feeling of worth. Oh, and there's plenty more undefined centers. The next one we'll look at is the sacral center right here. This is knowing when enough is enough or not. This is having a fixed relationship with the generative life force principles. And so this is a projector, which means undefined sacral center does not know when enough is enough from birth. The wisdom is to eventually learn exactly where, when, how, why enough is enough. To be really wise about that. However, when the mind is ruling your life and these open center poles are dominating your decision making, you have no idea when enough is enough, and you'll keep going, 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 and you'll keep going. Because you have this unconscious foundation, this first line in the unconscious, that's going to hold stability And if you don't know when enough is enough, essentially what happens is that on the dark end of things, when the first line unconscious is unhealthy and there is something wrong, it is most likely not going to be noticed for a while. And it's not going to be noticed because it's within the very foundation itself. It's kind of underneath and out of the way. It's the supporting mechanism. And it's in the foundation that there is a flaw. And so it's only once it's been built up too tall and too strong that all of a sudden, the taller they are, the harder they fall. And the first line unconscious can feel this very deeply, and they can pass over from deep health. 1 week they're doing great, and the next week they're gone. And so knowing how to honor when enough is one of the most important things you could do as a projector to honor your health. Don't push it too far. Allow yourself to take a break. Allow yourself to lay down. Allow yourself to take a nap. Self-care is so extraordinarily important, especially with all these undefined open centers. With 7 undefined centers like this, there is so much energy from the world that is being amplified within the field of this person before they gain some, as we call, astral etiquette, before they gain some energetic balance and they're able to manage their thoughts and no longer create thoughts of identifying with what isn't them and amplifying that and trying to make that consistent, because it never will be. Down here in the undefined root center, this is the center of adrenal pressure. This is stress pressure. This is the push of life. And this person has an undefined root center. And so that means they are busy to be busy, 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 because they want to release the pressure. There's all this pressure of life they're amplifying because it's not consistent. So in their mind, they are amplifying their adrenal stress pressure about things and wanting to get it done and relieve the pressure. And the thing is, the joke is, the only way you can actually alleviate the pressure when you are identified with an undefined root center is to pass on. Because so long as you are identified with falsehood, so long as you are identified with what is not you, you cannot be healthy, you cannot be happy. You could have a sham, you could have a charade, you could put on a facade, there could be a show, and it wouldn't be the fulfilling show that's really possible and you know is possible deep down on the inside. So remember to relax, take a deep breath. You don't need to rush yourself in life. Next up here is the splenic center. This is fundamentally the survival center. We share this awareness center with all the living animals, plants, insects, everything on the earth that is alive. We share the splenic awareness with them. This is right now. The eternal now. That's the spleen. And it's about survival, fundamentally. And so the immune system is a key element here. And because this person has an undefined root center, personally, I would recommend attempting or trying out homeopathic medicine. Because as I've been saying, when you have an undefined center, you are energetically amplifying the energy that comes into this center. And so when you have an undefined spleen, the homeopathic medicine, these super, super, super tiny doses, super low quantity, high quality. That high quality in a low quantity goes into your system and it's like, whoa, I like this, I can amplify this and it feels good. So a little bit goes a very long way with the undefined spleen. They're probably very interested in being spontaneous. Oh, I'm just going to do this right now, whoops. The thing about the spleen is that it rules spontaneity. And in the not self, you want nothing more than to be what you're not. And so they'll try to be spontaneous and perhaps get hurt because they don't have that instinctual, judgmental, intuitive, right now how to respond to spontaneity, how to be spontaneous. They don't have a consistent factor there. And so the fundamental not-self theme is to hold on to things that are bad for you. Because at least if I hold on to this thing, it gives me a feeling, and I can trust this to be reliable. Even if it's a bad reliable. And so there's always this invitation to take a breath and to let go of what does not serve you. Because you are so talented and skilled at amplifying the energy that life gives you, that you want to be sure to amplify good, wholesome, positive energy. And when negative energy comes your way, energy that is disharmonious, that makes you feel, ooh, icky or sticky or gross, that is not the place to engage your mind. That is not your place to go, oh, that's so gross. Let's get rid of that person. That's so gross. I got to get rid of that. It's just wrong. And it's not the place to do that. It's the place to recognize, oh, okay, that's not my preference. That means that's not the place to engage my mind. Because the mind is built for your preference. It's built to share your highest joy with other people so that they can hear the highest joy of a person. And the only way to get there is by following your strategy and authority, is by allowing these open centers to be, not identifying with them. I need to hold on to this thing because at least then I can avoid the conflicts. And at least then somebody will tell me that I'm worthy because I don't know what enough is enough and I'm so dang busy. Over here in the Ajna center, this Ajna chakra is about conceptualization. This is about thinking and how we see the world. When it is undefined, this means that there is no consistent method of thinking. There's no consistent frame that I'm always thinking like this or I'm always thinking like that, because they can think in any which way. And so in the not-self, the pretend is to be certain. If I pretend to be certain about this, oh, I know I'm right, you gotta trust me on this, this has gotta be it, this is exactly it. It's not a consistent mechanism and it cannot be trusted. And so I myself am an open ajna like this. And so for me, if I ever say something with certainty, like, yes, it's always like this is truly an absolute, it's a joke. I know it's a joke. I know that if I'm ever being certain about something, that it's a joke. It's not something that I can be seriously certain about. And that was such a relief, I tell you what, because this person's also got a wide open crown center. This is the only center that is wide open. And like me, this is another situation. Only the crown center in my body graph is wide open, undefined. And so what this means is mystically, in a previous lifetime, this person completely mastered all of the themes of inspiration. All of the pressures to think in this way or the pressure to think in that way, whether it's doubt about the pattern in the future, whether it's returning to the past and trying to rationalize it, whether it's being present in this moment and having an individual truth. All of those three fundamental themes, which are these three gates up here, the 61, the 64, and the 63, they have mastered all of those themes in a previous lifetime. And so this notion of the crown center is the notion of inspiration and of what does or doesn't truly matter. For you see, with an undefined crown, the mind can easily be occupied specifically with what does not matter. If you try to present something that is important and something that truly matters, they dismiss it. They're far too busy with things that don't matter because they're avoiding conflicts. They're making promises to people and that they're holding on to without knowing when enough is enough, despite the fact that it's bad for them and it's burning out their adrenals and they're getting exhausted and exhausted and exhausted over time. And so with this wide open crown, something I can share about this from my own direct experience is that it's as if, and this is after years and years, because I'm like 31 years old now, so I've had some time to consider and look and feel through life. It's as if I can tell very clearly nowadays, more and more every day, between what does and what doesn't matter. Every day it becomes more clear the difference between what does and doesn't matter. And paradoxically, and this paradoxical nature is very important to this wide open center. Paradoxically, they're also the exact same thing. They're one and the same. What doesn't matter, what does matter, both are concepts and thoughts about the world and how things work. They're thoughts, it's the same thing. It's not an action, it's not a behavior. It's merely a thought or a pressure to think. And so in the beauty of that, you can actually learn to enjoy what matters, to work on what matters, to feel the satisfaction of making a difference, and then to rest and to relax and to have some time doing nothing of any importance whatsoever, and to see how deeply, deeply important it is to have time doing something of utterly no importance whatsoever. It's so relaxing. And in the not self, it takes over your life. You see, it becomes the number one most important thing. It's only what doesn't matter. If something matters, then I avoid it. And that's where suffering comes from. You see, it comes from these black holes of open energy centers that are obfuscating the truth and clouding your judgment and making you lost in ignorance. And so as a projector, if this person can do their studies, they're a projector and they're a first line being. These are two factors that lend towards the importance of studying mechanics or studying a system, whatever it is that lights you up, to really know it through and through and to be a master of that system. And if you take the time and do the work to do that and to become a master of your own self and the nature of a system, truly, as a generator, self-mastery is the way. As a projector, it's mastery of a system. And so whatever it is that lights you up, wherever it is that you can sink your teeth in and really understand, people will be able to recognize you once you have established true understanding and inner standing with a system. People will be able to see that in your energy field, and they will invite you in. They will recognize that there is a master within you. Only if you take the time to develop it. And then once they have recognized you and invited you in, now your mastery can be shared in such a way that will land with life-changing affirmity. And that comes from waiting. This is a fundamental universal in human design and decision making, is waiting for the right timing. Each one of us has a timing mechanism on the inside, and the universe itself is its own timing mechanism, if I can put it that way. And when you learn how to make decisions correctly as yourself, when you learn your own timing mechanism, your own reality manifestation vehicle, when you know your body and who you are and how you function, nothing is ever the same. From this moment to the next, it's always the eternal now unfolding in a brand new way. Yeah, I didn't go too far into the details of nuanced gates or the resonance square. And there's a taste of this not self, of this 5-1, and even the true self. So if you enjoy this information, feel free to reach out. We can have a conversation like this, even about your own personal details in the private. And that's what I find the most fulfilling thing ever, truly. I love meeting new people and getting to become deep connections, getting to recognize somebody on an intimate level and being able to share wisdom, share good energy. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. Bye for now.